All right, hello and welcome to week 2 of Pure Strength. Today's workout is Pilates and recovery. All you're going to need is a little bit of wall space, so when you're ready, let's jump right in. All right, go ahead and come to the floor with me. We're going to have a seat. Now, when you come towards the wall, you're going to want to sit so you can place your feet on the wall with your knees still having that slight bent position. Now, I know the camera angle today is going to be a little wonky, but bear with me. We'll do the best that we can. So, excuse me. When you come towards the wall, feet are going to be about hip distance apart. Reach the arms forward. Now, what I want you to focus on here is drawing the navel into the spine and finding a little bit of rounding through that thoracic spine or that mid-back region. We're just going to be doing the left arm like a bow and arrow. So keep your right arm reaching forward. Press your feet firmly into the wall as if you were standing on the floor. From here, for 12 repetitions, we're going to draw the left elbow back towards the floor, lean back slightly. Keep both feet, especially the right foot, grounded into the wall, and come back up. Now, if you notice as you come back, you're a little too far away from the wall, maybe your feet aren't able to maintain contact, scoot a little closer. So here's number 3. So our focus today is mostly core. We do have some glutes. Stay with me, nice, slow, and controlled. There's 8. Keep pressing the feet. 9, 10, you got this. 11, and 12. Now reach both arms forward, press the right foot. You're going to release your left foot. You're going to tap your heel to the floor, and then you're going to tap your big toe to a higher spot on the wall. So 1, 2. Now again, think of drawing that navel in towards the spine, rounding that mid-back. Keep reaching the arms forward. Here's 6, halfway. Stay with me. 7, 8, 9, 10. You got this. Stay with it. And 12. All right, let's do the other side. Push both feet. We reach back. Right elbow touches the floor. 12. Stay with it. You got this. Nice job. Halfway. 4, 3. Keep pushing those feet. 2, 1. Hold it. Release the foot. Tap, tap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got this. 8. Almost there. 9, 10. Stay with me. 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, we were only doing 12. My bad. You got a couple extra. Go ahead and slowly release. All right, we're going to come all the way onto our backs. We're going to place the feet back onto the wall. You might have to scooch a little closer. Let's get ourselves set up here. You're going to place your feet on the wall with the feet right in line with the knees, and then the knees in line with your hips. So you have 2 90-degree hinges happening, one at the hip, one at the knee. So we're going to go just traditional bridges to begin. We've got 12 repetitions. Before we begin, though, find that pelvic tilt. So we're going to slightly tilt the pelvis up so you feel your low back flatten or broaden onto the floor. You can have your hands down for support. You can also kind of bend the arms and push the elbows, which will give you a little bit more support as we lift up. But firmly press the feet into the floor. Pick yourself up. We go 12. Nice, slow, and controlled. So as you come up, we don't want to push the weight into the neck. So make sure you're stopping when you feel the weight in your shoulder blade region. And try to keep the knees from bowing out or caving in. So we're keeping everything nice and aligned. You got this. 8, 9, 10. We got 2 more. The next time you lift up, hold. We're going to go 12 alternating marches. So 2 is 1. So each leg counts as 1 repetition. Press the left foot. Bring your right knee into your chest. Place your right foot back on the wall. Bring your left knee into your chest. That's 1. We've got 11 more. 1 knee in at a time. Now what you want to focus on here is balance and control. So try not to swivel too much side to side. There's 3. We're going for 12. Stay with me. 4. Keep the hips up. 6. Nice job. 7. 8. Almost there. Come on. Make sure you're breathing, keeping that core engaged. 9. Final 3 sets. 10. Keep that booty up. Back line of the body coming online. I hope you feel that. 12. 12. Feet down. Hold. Before we drop, we're going 15 pulses. So just lift an inch, lower an inch. 15. 14. Keep that core braced. Keep pushing your feet firmly into the wall. 10. You got this. Breathe. Core engaged. Really strong here. 6. Last 5. 4. 3. 2. One more. And lower it down. Walk your legs out long so you have a nice release throughout that back line. And a little bit of an inversion, which is always really nice for drainage issues. Take a couple of deep breaths. This is your recovery. Nice job. Two more deep breaths here. All right, we're going to bring the bottom of the feet together and knees are going to flare out. And we're going to come up to tap the hands to the feet. So you may have to kind of booty scoot your way down a little bit. So your hips are just a little bit closer to the wall from where they just were. Bottom of the feet together. And we're going to actively push the pinky edges of the feet into the wall. So have the bottom of the feet together, heels and balls of feet, and then push the pinky edge. So hopefully already feeling the legs kind of activate just from that engagement. Take the arms overhead. Now, if you notice, as you take the arms overhead, the pelvis tilts down and the low back arches. See if we can counter that. Keep the core drawing in, tilt the pelvis slightly up so you feel your low back kind of broaden or lengthen against the floor. Take a nice deep breath here. As you exhale, we're going to reach through and towards the inner seam of the legs. Lower back down. 12. You got this. 11. Keep pushing the pinky edges. Don't let the bottom half of the body get lazy here. It's still very active and giving us resistance by pushing into the wall. 8. 7. You got this. 6. Stay with me. 5. 4. Last 3. 2. We're going to hold it up on 1. Hold it here. Now bring your hands together. Fingers are pointing towards the arches of your feet. You're going to bring the feet towards the hands and then tap back towards the wall. 12. So the hips might come off the floor a little bit, and if they don't, that's okay too. Just see how much low core you can engage without using momentum or swinging the body. And we're just using the wall as a range of motion check-in. So we're stopping when we hit the wall. We're coming back up. Halfway. 6. You got this. 5. 4. 3. 2. Stay with it. 1, and release. Feet back towards the wall. Release the body. Take a gentle windshield wiping of the knees, just side to side, releasing through the hips, through the core, through the low back. Nice job. Take 2 more deep breaths here, and then we're going to bring it back up to a seated position and dig a little bit more into the deep core and the iliopsoas and hip flexor region. So if you're really close to the wall, you may have to booty scoot your way back. That's the fun part, right? There's like all of these little just scooches throughout the class. And go ahead and just bring yourself up. All right, so we're going to have the legs long this time. So you might not be as close to the wall, but the legs are going to be really long. Feet are going to be touching. Now we're going to reach the arms forward. We're going to pick the heels up. So I'm just on the balls of my feet here. As my knees swivel towards the left, my hands go to the right. As they swivel opposite. So it's kind of like a crisscross here. And we're just focusing on this swivel. The only thing really touching the wall at this point are my tippy toes. There's 4. 5. Getting those obliques. 6. Make sure you're swiveling. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. And release. Nice job. Now you can stay exactly where you are, but you're going to sit so your butt is actually touching the wall. I'm going to rotate this way. So I will have my back to you for the most part, but that's just because I need a little bit more wall space for this. So to get your butt up against the wall, come onto one side. Once you're there, come onto your elbow, scooch both booty cheeks up against the wall, and then lay down and come up. So you should feel your sit bones against the wall. So we're really close against the wall right now. Everything is touching. Sit bones, hamstrings, calves, heels. Bring your legs to touch. Now, if your wall has any texture or you feel like you can't slide freely, pause for a moment and grab some socks, something that's going to allow you to glide across your wall. Or if you're also just worried about having your feet on your wall, if you just painted, it might be nice to have some socks. All right, we're going to go into some lateral leg sweeps. So we'll start on the right, the left, and then we'll do both together. What I want you to focus on here is outer and inner thigh. So think hip adductors and abductors. So outer and inner. Keep the leg against the wall as you sweep to the point you start to feel that inner thigh, and then with control, bring it back in. What we don't want to do as we go side to side here is let the leg leave the wall. Once you've done right and left, let's go double. Use the inner thighs, sweep it back in. You feel that? Let's go 12 sets. Here's number 2. Keep that foot against the wall. Both legs. 2. Inner thigh engagement. Outer thigh catches, inner thigh squeezes in. 3. Really strong here. 4. You got this. 5. 6. Halfway. Whew, starting to feel that inner thigh now. Go to your end range. So that moment you feel the inner thigh really kick in. And if you want a little extra, pause there for just a breath and then activate that inner thigh to bring the leg or legs back into center. And focus on, too, that core drawing in so that low back is nice and broad onto the floor. We're not arching that here. Whew. Here we go. Final 3. You got this. Stay with it. Last 2. Oof. Last one here. And bring the legs back together. Nice job. We're going to come right into some leg circles. So keep everything the way it is. You're going to bend your right knee softly just so you can place the right foot flat onto the floor. We're going to press through the foot. Start to lift your hips up so you're balancing, again, on your shoulders, not your neck. So if you feel the weight in the neck, back off just a little bit. Left foot is going to lengthen. It's going to be away from the wall. Toe is pointed. Let's take this into some circles. Now, what I want you to focus on here is not wobbling. So nice, slow, and controlled movement here. I am firmly pressing my right foot into the wall, keeping that right hamstring and glute really active. Here's my 6th circle. 7. Nice job. Stay with it. 8. 9. You know it. 3 more. 11. And 12. Right into the other side. So stamp that left foot, bent knee. Right leg extends nice and long. Circle it out with control. 12. 11. Feel that whole leg and hip working. 10. 9. Keep firmly pressing that left foot. 8. Keep that core engaged. 7. 6. 5. 4. Last 3. 2. Last 1. Keep your left leg as is. Bring your right foot to match it. And we're going to lower halfway and lift all the way up into our bridge. 12. Lower halfway. 11. 10. Make sure you're not rolling onto the neck. 9. Squeeze the glutes. 8. Now, if you want, for these last 6, let's lift the calves. So press the balls of the feet, lift the heels. 6. 5. So it's like a little calf raise with your bridge. 4. You got this. Stay with me. 3. Whew. 2, one more. Hold at the top for 10, 9, squeeze, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, lower down one vertebra at a time. Bring the bottom of the feet together, knees are going to go out wide. Take a couple of breaths here in this wall-supported butterfly position. Beautiful job. All right, we're going to actually turn away from the wall now. So instead of the feet being on the wall, it's actually going to be your hands on the wall. So go ahead and find a position where your arms aren't locked out. There's a slight bend in the elbow, but you're still able to push. Think like a push overhead press. Go ahead and lengthen your legs. We're going to take this into some resisted scissors, some double leg lifts, and some reverse roll-ups. So when you're ready, and I think I need to scooch a little closer to the wall, a little bit more bend in the elbow so I can have a little bit more push in the arms. Take your right leg up towards the sky. Keep your left leg long. Push the hands. Let's scissor switch. 12, 11. Keep pushing. 10. Keep that upper body engaged. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2, last 1, release. Nice job. All right, so we're going to go into some double leg lifts. So go ahead and straighten out both legs. Again, firmly push your hands into the wall. Now notice too, we don't want that back arching, right? Find that bit of a pelvis engagement so we can keep that low back nice and broad and flat onto the floor. I'm going to invite you to kind of zip your inner thighs together. Imagine you went from 2 legs to 1 leg, so they're going to move in unison. Push into the wall to lift. 12. Push as you lower. 11. Strong and controlled. 10. 9. Really strong here. 8. 7. 6. Keep pushing into the wall. You got this. Final 4. Last 3. Stay with it. 2. One more, Pelwell. And release. Let's also release the arms for a moment. Give yourself a little bit of a break. Take a couple of deep breaths here. All right, we've got one more move. We're going to do those reverse roll-ups. So what I want you to focus on, we're going to bring the hands back to the wall, and we're going to push firmly into the wall. We're going to do the double leg lift, but we're going to try to pick the hips up and get our toes as close to touching the wall as possible. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. Be okay with either. We're just really focusing on engaging through the core and focusing on this really slow, controlled movement. This one I also feel like can be really tempting to hold your breath. So try to make sure you're breathing throughout the exercise. Just like everything else, we're going to go for 12 repetitions. So let's get set up. Hands onto the wall. Go ahead and push firmly into the wall. Bring your legs back together. We've got the inner thigh squeeze. Now, as you lift the legs, you're really going to push your hands into the wall, which will help you get your legs up even more. So push. 12. Now push, 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 push. Lower with control. I scooted a little bit on that one. 11. Lower with control, lower with control, lower with control. 10. Push, 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 push. 9. You got this. Use that core, use that core, use that core. 8. And if, like me, you kind of scooch, every couple of reps, just reset, get closer to the wall. 7. You got this. 6. Keep your head grounded. 5. Whew. 4. Like every 4, I have to scoot a little closer to the wall. 3. Okay, this is it. 2 more. One more. We got this. And release. Upper body should feel just as fatigued as the core after that big push. Okay, we have one more challenge. We're actually going to be doing a wall plank. So not what we might be thinking where our hands are on the wall. Our hands are going to be on the floor. Our feet are going to be on the wall. So a little challenging. I'm going to invite you to hold it for 30 seconds or more. I'm going to try for a minute. I just want you to do the best that you can. Feel free to do this on the forearms if staying on the hands doesn't feel comfortable for your wrists. But to get set up, which will begin in about 12 seconds, just so I can keep my eye on the clock, you're going to want to take your leg back behind you, and you're going to want to have it set up so one foot is on the wall, hands are right under the shoulders, so we can lift right up into our plank. 3, 2, let's go. Brace through the core, and just like you do in a regular plank, push your hands into the earth, pull your shoulder blades away from your spine a little bit. Now this is really going to help us push through the heels, because if you're not pushing through your feet, they're not going to stay on the wall, right? We don't want to turn this into a wall pike or down dog, so make sure your hips are lower, in line with your shoulders. Stay with it and breathe. Draw that navel in. You are halfway into this minute. Breathe, push into the floor. You got this. Whew. Here we are, 40 seconds, 20 to go. Yes, you can if you've made it this far. Stay with it. My whole body is shaking, but we only have 12 seconds. Come on. Final 10. Final 8. 6. 4, 3, 2, and lower it down. Take a little bit of a break. Roll through the wrists. Awesome job. Nice deep breaths. You got this. Whew. All right, we only have 2 more moves. We're going to be doing slow climbers and slow cross climbers to get the core and the arms a little bit more. If that plank at the wall was extremely challenging, let's just bring this to the floor and do them more traditionally. If you were like, that felt pretty good for 30 seconds or more, join me at the wall. Let's do it that way. We're going 12 sets, so both legs counts as 1 rep. We're going to do traditional, knee straight down the center of your body like you're bringing your knee to your nose, and then we're going to crisscross, and we're out of here. So we're almost there. All right, let's get ourselves set up. Have your leg against the wall. If you're using the wall, you might be doing this on the floor. Really push. Start with your right knee into your chest. When your right foot finds the floor, left knee comes in. That's 1. Right, left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I need a little bit of a break and a reset. 8. Ooh, slipping and sliding. My feet have gotten pretty sweaty. It might be helpful if you have sneakers on here. If your feet are getting sweaty and you're sliding down your wall, you had a good workout, right? 10, 11, 12, 12. Release, roll out the wrists. Take a little breather. Nice job. All right, we're going for across the body. I'm going to get a couple at the wall, do the best I can, but I'm also expecting to have to come to the floor. This should feel challenging. All right, let's get ourselves set up. All right, so we're going to start right knee crossing the body. Take it back 1. So think right knee, left elbow. 2, 3. Push that opposite foot. 4. Ooh, I'm slipping again. I'm coming to the floor to get some good reps. 5, 6, you're halfway. 7, 8, 9, 10. This is it. Come on, 4 singles, 2 sets. Last one. Last one. All right, you made it. Wall Pilates. Check and done. Awesome job. So we're going to move into our recovery, which is going to be shoulder focused. Grab some yoga blocks, meet me on your mat, and let's do some nice recovery work. Okay, well, welcome to your recovery. Our focus today is going to be mostly on shoulders, chest, and upper back. If you're doing this recovery program as part of the Pure Strength program, it's going to feel so good because on week 2, we've been doing a lot of shoulder pushing exercises. So all you're going to need for this gentle practice is a set of yoga blocks. And when you're ready, come to meet me on your back. So we're going to find a lot of release here throughout the shoulder, specifically the anterior or the front shoulder. So we're going to begin with the knees bent and the feet flat on the floor. Now, before you do anything, I just want to let you know where we're going to take it. We're going to press through the feet to lift the hips just enough that you can physically slide your right hand palm facing the floor underneath your waist. We're going to slightly rotate the fingertips up towards the left shoulder blade. So underneath the body, the arm is going to kind of be at an angle, and we're going to really find a nice release for the front of this right shoulder. So go ahead and lift your hips just enough to bend at the elbow and slide the right hand under the waist. Find that slight rotation upwards of the fingers towards the left shoulder. And then when you're ready, lower your hips back down so your body weight is kind of pinning the arm underneath of you. Now, hopefully we're feeling this in the front of the right shoulder. If it's really intense, bring your hand down the body a little bit closer towards your hips, and hopefully that will make it a little bit more accessible. Take a moment here just to tap into how that feels before we add in anything extra. Now, if all of that feels really good, I'm going to invite you to bring your left ear to your left shoulder. So we're moving the head away from the right. And notice how that might change the sensation, now stretching through the anterior right shoulder as well as through the SCM and up the sides of the neck. Now, if you still want a little bit more, let's take this left arm, which is free. You're going to set the fingertips across your right temple and then just not really pulling or yanking on the neck, but just giving it a little bit of upward tug of resistance, just to kind of amplify that stretch a little bit more. And then soften into it when you can. And right now, all I want you focusing on, if you can, is just deepening and relaxing through the breath. When you're ready, slowly release your left arm back down towards the floor. Bring your head back in alignment with the rest of your spine. Press through the heels, lift your hips enough that you can just gently release that right arm. Now, just to restore a little bit of movement, just kind of create like little snow angels with that right arm as you just gently sweep it up and down, just inviting in some movement back into the arm and the shoulder. Now, before we do the other side, we're going to stay on the right shoulder. So I'm actually going to invite you to roll onto your left side body, and you're going to stack your knees, your hips, and your arms out in front of you. So what I'd like you to focus on here is really keeping the knees stacked. So a lot of times when we open up into a twist, the right knee glides back. See if you can keep that right knee on top. So the right arm might not come anywhere close to the floor. It might just be hanging in space, and that's okay. Let your head relax onto the floor. Keep pushing that right knee forward. We're slowly going to reach the right arm up towards the sky and then back behind us. And again, my arm is like nowhere near the floor. It's just hanging out in space, floating. But I'm keeping that right knee pushing forward and my right hip stacked on top of my left. And then just as much as I can, softening into the sensation of opening up into this twist. And let's stay here for 3 deep breaths. 2 more breaths. Last one here. And let's bring the arm back the exact same way we got it there. So it's like you're closing a book. Now we're going to take this right arm and we're going to arch it overhead. So go ahead and turn so the palm is up on the right side. And then you're just going to start to draw the hands or drag the hands across the floor overhead. Now there'll be a moment where when we open up without bringing the right knee back, the hand has to leave the floor. So be okay with that. Keep reaching it up and back. Keep the right knee forward. So we're not opening the hips or the knees. So again, that right arm might not be anywhere close to the floor. Might be like feeling like it's more up towards the ceiling even. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then we're going to bring it back the same way. So that moment where the hand can come back to the floor, let's bring it back down and then stack the arms. We're going to unravel, so you're coming to lay back onto your back with your knees bent, your feet onto the floor, and release. Before we do anything, take a moment and notice how your right shoulder and arm might feel different than the left. And if you notice a difference, take a moment to appreciate how quickly the body adapts and changes. We've only been together a few minutes, and hopefully the right shoulder feels more mobile, more engaged, more alive. All right, let's take this into the left side. So when you're ready, again, the palm will be facing down. We'll have the fingertips kind of rotating up towards the right shoulder this time. Press through the feet to lift the hips, and then lower yourself back down so you're just pinning the arm underneath of you. Take a moment to check in, see if all of this feels okay on the front of your left shoulder. And if it doesn't, bring the arm down a little bit closer towards the hips, and that might help make some nice adjustments for the body. If everything feels okay, let's take the right ear to the right shoulder. So you have that gentle sensation throughout the left side of the neck. And then if you'd like, we can take that right hand, fingertips to the left temple, and just have kind of that upward drag of the fascial layer there on the left side of the neck. So make sure you're not pulling or tugging on the head, but just kind of a gentle upward drag sensation. When you're ready, gently release the right arm if you added it. Bring your head back towards center. Lift your hips just enough to slide this left arm out. Lowering the hips back down. And again, just take this kind of like half of a snow angel sweep of the left arm to invite movement back into the shoulder. And then when you're ready, let's roll onto our right side. So let the head cascade down. Again, stack the knees, the hips. We're going to try to keep all of that together as you open your left arm like a book and let it fall behind you without bringing that left knee back. So be okay with the left arm not being anywhere near the floor. And let's take 3 deep breaths here together. One more deep breath here. And then let's close the book. And now we'll take it into that sunrise arm setup. So flipping the palm and then dragging the fingertips overhead until you get to that point where you have to open the knees or the hips. And then lift the arm so we're not actually moving the knees or the hips, and sweep the arm back behind you. Keeping this left knee pushing forward and hips nice and square to the long edge of your mat. And take a couple of breaths here. And then let's retrace our steps. So bring it overhead until you find that point where you can place the fingertips back onto the floor. And then bring the arms back together. From here, we're going to push ourselves up into a child's pose. Go ahead and grab your yoga blocks, place them at the top of your mat. We'll need them in just a moment. And coming into tabletop, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's just take a basic cat-cow here. So if that's new to you, you just let the belly drop, let the chin and tailbone pull away from each other. And then rounding the spine, let the tailbone and chin kind of round together like you're trying to bring them closer towards the belly button. Let's flow that a couple more times. Extend through the spine, let the belly drop. Flex through the spine, round. One more time. Then allow yourself to settle into neutral. You're going to set the blocks to the top of your mat on their lowest setting side by side. So it's kind of like you're just creating one long rectangular block. Go ahead and bring your hands onto the blocks. Walk your knees back just a couple of inches and start to sit the hips back, leaving the arms really long here. So because we're focusing on shoulders, we want to find that nice long extension through the upper body. So let the hips drive back, let the arms reach forward. So you feel this nice long line from tail to fingertips. Hopefully also with this extended reach, feeling the lats, which are all around underneath the armpit and in that upper back area, connecting the arms and the side body, just feeling that gentle release. Now from here, bring your right hand to the left corner of your block. So we're creating a little bit of a side body. Now, if it feels uncomfortable on the knees, you might walk them in a couple inches so you can just relax through the lower body. Once your right hand is reaching to the left corner block, bring your left hand right next to your left knee. We're going to push into that left hand and start to open our chest to the long edge of our mat on the left side. So you feel that through that whole right side body. Take a couple of breaths here. Slowly press the left hand, bring your right hand back to the right block, and we're just going to thread the left arm underneath the space we're creating on the right. So because the right arm is lifted, your left shoulder and your left side of your face might not touch the floor, but that's okay. What I want you to focus on here is reaching that left arm as far as you can so you feel your left shoulder blade pull away from your spine. So you've got a little bit of scapular protraction happening on the left side. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And then slowly unravel. Reach both arms long. We're going to bring the right hand next to the right knee. Take your left hand to the right corner block. So we're creating that on the other side. Reaching that left hand at the diagonal, right hand right next to the right knee. Push the right hand to start to twist your chest towards the right long edge of your mat. Take a couple of deep breaths here. All right, push through that right hand. Bring your left hand back to the left block and thread the right arm underneath the left, really reaching the fingertips. So you feel that right shoulder blade pulling away from the spine. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And then slowly release. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Bring yourself up. Go ahead and take your blocks on their highest setting and let them be about shoulder distance apart. We're going to place the elbow points right on the blocks. Now, if you're using cork or wood, you might want to place a blanket across them just to give you a little extra padding. Bring your fingertips together like prayer hands. Start to send the hips back, letting your head and chest kind of cascade down towards the floor. Bring your fingertips to point up towards the sky, and then slowly start to turn so the fingertips are pointing towards your spine. Maybe the thumbs rest at the nape of your neck. And take a couple of breaths here, just finding extension and opening through the front upper body. Another deep breath here. And then release the arms long. Let them kind of just dangle and hang out here for 2 more breaths. And then slowly press to the elbows, round your spine to come forward. You might want to walk your knees in or press to the hands to release. Let your hands come into your lap. Take a couple of shoulder circles to release the body. And let all of that go. Thank you so much for joining me for this upper body recovery. And until next time, be well.